Hey guys, welcome to my channel, which is Excellent MS Excel. In today's video we will learn about if function and then count function, and then we will learn how to combine both of them to create employee ID. To learn if function, let's take an example. I'll be creating here some data to learn if function. Suppose I have data for some students here. Let's take some random numbers for marks by using rand between function from 20 to 100. Control D to copy down the function, and then Control C to copy, and then Alt Control V to paste only values. Now we will be applying here the if function to get the result. Suppose the students has only one subject and they have scored this much, and now to get pass, student needs to get at least 33 marks in a subject. So the condition is if the total marks is greater than 33, then student is passed, otherwise the student is failed. So how can we implement this situation in Excel? We have to apply the if function, because we use the if function to provide a condition. So equal sign, then if, bracket open. There are three arguments to this function: the logical test, then the value if true, and then the value if false. Logical test is condition here, so I have to specify the condition here. I am using here the reference of cell B2. Whatever is written in B2 needs to be checked out by the if function. So if the value in B2 is greater than 33, then comma. The second argument is value if true. If the condition is satisfied, then what needs to be displayed here? I want to display passed here, so I'll be writing that in double quotes, then comma again. Now the value of false argument is activated. I have to provide this argument to the function, value of false. If the condition is not satisfied, in that case what should be done by Excel? We need to display failed in that case. So I have written here the failed in double quotes, then I have to close the bracket and enter. So 47 is greater than 33, so Jatin is passed. Now I have to just copy down the function, Control D, and then I can check out here that Naveen and Romeo is failed because they have scored 30 and 33, not more than 33. So this was the example for a function. Now let's take another example to understand the functionality of COUNTIF function. This function counts the numbers in a range that satisfy a condition. So let's take an example here. I am making some changes here in this data. Suppose student has 5 subjects. A student has 5 subjects. So I am changing it to Hindi, then English, I have to take some random values here, so I am using rand between function. The bottom is 10 and the top is 100. Just Control D to copy down the function, and then Control R to copyright the function, and then Control C to copy all the values, and then Alt Control V to paste only values, as this function is volatile and these values will be getting changed every time whenever we make any changes to any cell of this sheet. Okay, now escape. Now a student has 5 subjects, right? And I want to check out in how many subjects student is passed. So I want to count the subject in which student is passed. Now to get this value, I need to use the COUNTIF function. How we can use the function to get the desired result. Let's start. I am writing here number of subjects in which student is passed. So I have to use COUNTIF function. Start the function with an equal sign, then write count if and then bracket open. Now there are two arguments to this function. The first one is range and the second one is criteria. The range, I have to provide a range to the function to count the numbers. I have to provide the range containing numbers for 5 subjects, the marks for 5 subjects from B2 to F2 and then comma. The second argument is activated now, that is criteria, the condition I have to specify here. I'll be specifying the condition within double quotes, which is the value should be greater than 33. In that case, student is passed in that particular subject. So the condition is the value from B2 to F2 should be greater than 33 to be counted. If that value has to be counted by Excel, then bracket close and then enter. I got 5 because the values in all the cells is greater than 33. So we just have to copy down the function, Control D to do the same. Now here in case of Kamaldeep, I can see the 24 and 11 is less than 33. There are only 3 values which is greater than 33, so we got 3 here, and we have got perfect numbers for every student. So this is the functionality of COUNTIF function, which is very useful in a lot of scenarios. So let's learn now how to create the employee ID by using both the functions, the if function which we learned and the COUNTIF function. To create the employee ID, we will be using here a factor which is department. We have to use the initials of the department name to create the employee ID, and the second factor would be we will be counting the employees in a particular department, and we will be writing that number in the employee ID while creating the employee ID, so that we just have to get to know about the number of employees in a particular department by seeing the employee ID. We don't have to count that every time. So how to create this? First we need to know about the departments. We need to have the unique names of the department. What I have to do for this, I'll be selecting all the departments, then Control C to copy, and then just go down by pressing Control and down arrow from the keyboard, paste here all the values, and then Alt A M to remove duplicate values from the list. And then I have to delete duplicate values. So the values are in column A. This is column A. Click on OK. Now we have got unique values. 3 unique values remain. So we can see that 3 values, that is sales, research and development, and human resources. There are 3 departments: sales department, research and development department, and human resources department. So let's create the employee ID. How we can do? We have to write an equal sign, then to create the employee ID, I know first I have to use the initials of the department name, which in case of sales I want to use only S. So if function, then bracket start. First one is logical test. The condition I have to specify here, condition is if this value, the value written in D2 is sales, in that case I want value of 2. If the condition is satisfied, I want S in starting, and then ampersand sign to concatenate the values. Now I have to count the values, right? So I'll be writing here COUNTIF, then the range from D2 to D2, because the value, first value is D2 and second one is again D2. And the criteria is the value should be sales in this. If the value is sales, then count, otherwise don't count, right? So bracket close, and then value false. If the condition is not satisfied, the value written in D2 is not sales, then what we want Excel to do? We want Excel to check another condition. So to provide another condition, again we have to use the if function here. If bracket open, now this time the condition is check the value written in D2 is equal to research and development. If the value is this, then in that case write RD and then concatenate this value with the count of the department, the range, and then range should be counted if the value written in range is this one, research and development. Now bracket close for COUNTIF function. Now value false for the if function again. If both the conditions are not satisfied, the value written in D2 is not sales or research and development. In that case we know the value must be human resources because there are only 3 departments. So in that case we want the value to be written as human resources department, then concatenate this value with the count of that particular department. So COUNTIF range is again same, and this time the value will be counted if the value written in range is human resources. I have opened 3 brackets for the if function, so I have to close 3 brackets and then enter. So I got S1 here. Now one thing more which I have to correct here is I have to make the reference as absolute. This reference by writing $sign in front of 2 here, $sign, and again here the $sign. Now I have made these references as absolute. To get to know more about cell references, I am going to create a video. Please go through that video. Just copy down the function. Now you can see I got S1, then S2, and same for research and development department RD1, RD2. And if I go to the end of the list, I can see there are 961 employees in research and development department, 446 in sales department, and if I want to check out for human resources, there are 63 employees in this department. So in this way we can create the employee IDs and we can count the number of employees in that particular department as well. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel to get more about Excel's knowledge.